The Cabinet of Ministers has decided to give the green light to import 20,000 metric tons of rice from Myanmar via a government-to-government agreement. The cost per metric ton will be $460 and the State Trading Corporation will import the consignment. On the 24th of September, the Cabinet approved the importation of 100,000 metric tons of rice to be kept as buffer stocks. During the Cabinet media briefing today, Cabinet co-spokesperson Dr. Derana explained the thinking behind the rice imports.
There is no acute rice shortage in the country, but the concern was the price of the rice was gradually going up over a period of time, especially during last 3 months. That's why government initiated this mechanism to import a certain quantity of rice to ensure that there is a price establishing mechanism. So once we started importing rice and once we started importing and distributing through the Satosa channels, there is a controlling mechanism. So Satosa managed to provide rice at a rate of about 98 rupee per kg. So there is a balancing mechanism. There's decent competition in the marketplace now. Because of that competition, other varieties have also come down to about 110 rupee per kg. So that's why we initiated that mechanism. As a responsible government, we have to look into those avenues. Despite the financial difficulties we encounter foreign currency wise, we decided to import rice to ensure that there is fair competition and the consumers get a decent price for their rice price.
During the media briefing, the minister was also quizzed on the country's forex crisis.
This has been a developing scenario over a few decades. Our trade deficit was gradually widening over a period of time because each and every year we have imported more, we have exported less. So, say for an instance, last year it was a deficit of about $6 billion. It was more in 2019, it was more in 2018. But during the last couple of years, we have started curtailing imports. Whatever we could produce in this country, we should produce in this country. We have not given prominence to unwanted and unnecessary expenditure. Say for an instance, we curtailed importation of vehicles to this country. That is to retain vital foreign currency in this country. But despite all that, since the fuel prices went up, we had to spend little more for our fuel. That trade deficit was, even though we managed to maintain, there is still a lacuna. So we lack about $6 billion per annum. We are very hopeful during next 3 to 6 months time, we will generate a decent foreign income again. Now exports have been fortunately developing despite all the setbacks. Our exports have been growing at least 10% year-on-year basis. We are looking at different avenues to improve the foreign reserves and also to generate more foreign revenue. But it's a difficult situation, not only for Sri Lankans, but also for all the people around the world.
With the government making something of a U-turn over its decision to ban the import of chemical fertilizer, the Cabinet co-spokesperson explained what the move would entail going forward.
The government has given the freedom to Agriculture Ministry and also Ministry of Plantation to import required quantity of chemical fertilizer. But the policy of the government is to give prominence to organic cultivation, and the organic fertilizer would be provided at a subsidized rate. But chemical fertilizer, once they are imported to this country, would be available in the market and they would be sold at the market price. It wouldn't be subsidized. We are very hopeful that proper mixture of organic fertilizer and the chemical fertilizer would provide more impetus, and our productivity and the production will gradually go up. That's the belief for the government.
The minister also elaborated on the drastic fall in vegetable prices, which came at the heels of giving the go-ahead for chemical fertilizer imports.
මීට දින 3කට හෝ 4කට පමණ පෙර තාම ඉහළ මට්ටමේ තිබුණු එළවලු මිල ඊයේ දිනේ වෙන විට තාම අඩු මට්ටමකට පහත වැටලා තිබෙනවා. මේ හාල් මිල සහ එළවලු මිල ඇතුළු කරුණු කාරණා පසුපස මේ හා සම්බන්ධ සංවිධානාත්මක පිරිසක් ඉන්න බව බොහොම පැහැදිලි. බොවුන් සෑම දිනාගෙම උනන්දුව වෙලා තිබුණේ නැවත මේ රටට රසායනික පොහොර ගෙන්වා ගැනීමට කටයුතු කිරීම බවත් පැහැදිලි. ඉතින් අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා රජයක් හැටියට ඉදිරි කාලෙදී මේ දැන් ජනතාවට අවශ්‍ය වුණු ඉල්ලපු දේ ලබා දෙන්නට කටයුතු කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ හැර අපි විශ්වාස කරනවා රටේ නැවත සාමාන්‍ය තත්ත්වයක් ඇති වෙලා වුන් නැවත වුන්ගේ වගා කටයුතු පවත්වාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා නිෂ්පාදනය වැඩි කරගනි. නිෂ්පාදනය වැඩි කරනවා වගේම ඉදිරි කාලෙදී යම් ජනාධිපතිතුමා පොරොන්දු වෙලා තිබුණා කාබනික වගාව සිදු කරන ගොවි මහත්වරුන්ට නිෂ්පාදනයේ ධාරිතාවයේ අඩුවීමක් සිදු වුණොත් ඒකට වන්දි ලබා දෙන්නත් කටයුතු කරනවා කියන කාරණා.
In the meantime, the cabinet has also approved for China Geoengineering Corporation to be given the contract to undertake the phase 2 of stage 1 in the Ratmalana Moratuwa wastewater disposal project. 7 bids in total had been received for the project, and the relevant companies given the contract upon the recommendation of the cabinet-appointed procurement committee. Drafting of legislation to make provisions to control election expenses too has been given the nod by the cabinet. The Parliamentary Select Committee appointed to identify the reforms related to the structure and rules of parliamentary polls and submit amendments has reached an agreement in consultation with the relevant parties. The PSC's proposed amendments will thus be drafted.
Navalux විටමින් E සමගින් සඳමෙන් දිතුලන මුහුණක්.